Welcome to the Big Success Show. Today, we'll share 3 keys for goal-setting prep.
Big Success with the Professor and Mary-Lynn.
It's the most wonderful time of the year. I have to sing, Mary-Lynn, because
Sing on.
I'm wondering.
Do you know any of the other words?
I don't. I might be able to squeeze one or two out, but if I really thought about it, that might get out of the brain. But no, I really don't.
Well, thank you, because that chorus is the only line that's going to be going over and over and over in my brain today.
Well, but it's the most wonderful time of the year because I'm wondering, what are my goals going to be next year?
Oh, yes. That's a lot to wonder.
Hey, I'm George Kruger, a.k.a. the Professor.
And I'm Mary-Lynn, and we realized recently that there's a lot of talk about goal setting, but there isn't much discussion about what we should do before we set our goals.
Goal setting, prep.
Yes.
Yes.
And that's what we're going to talk about today. So let's pull out the professor's whiteboard for 3 keys for goal setting prep.
I need to prep this closet for cleaning, Mary-Lynn.
I keep hoping one day you will. That's on my Christmas wish list to Santa.
Oh, I see. Well, as I look at all the stuff that's on the ground, I realize I've already prepped because I've gotten a bunch of stuff out of the closet.
That's true. Just don't put it back in.
Yeah, there you go.
Brilliant. Okay. Well, when it comes to setting goals, there's all kinds of advice.
Some say that you should set goals that push you.
And some say that you shouldn't set goals that are too challenging. And we like what Zig Ziglar has to say. A goal properly set is halfway reached.
I like that.
Prep is very important. So let's talk about how to properly prepare to set your goals. We have 3 keys. And the first one is make it personal. Think about what you really want. Because you know how it is, George. Other people will set goals for you if you let them, right?
Oh, yes, they will. You set goals for me all the time, Mary-Lynn, like cleaning out a closet. Right?
You should want to do that,
yes,
but I digress.
Well, let's think about work to come up with an example. It's possible that you want to set a goal. You want to get a promotion. You want to rise up, move up the career ladder or the corporate ladder. And there's this promising area of the company, but your boss knows how valuable you are. And so what tends to happen in situations like these is your boss may try to convince you to stay put. So you change your goal, which means you want to stay put, and you'll be happy with the raise. So you think. But the reality is you get the raise, and then you see that you're missing out on other opportunities that the people in the high growth area are taking advantage of because they actually made the move. If you had just stuck with your original goal, what you really want, you would be getting what you really want.
Right. You wouldn't be looking at other people saying, oh, I wish I had that.
Exactly right.
And so also you want to make sure that you aren't setting goals to please other people. For example, you set a goal to volunteer more of your time to organizations. And while that's a valiant goal, maybe in reality you're doing it to make the people in those organizations happy, but you're not doing it for yourself. You're not doing it for your soul. So you got to make sure that you are doing it for you, because if you're doing it for others, it's going to weigh on you.
But the thing is, if you set a big goal, and that's big with 2 G's, if you set a big goal that is true to you, you will be closer than ever to achieving that goal. As you prepare to set goals, we're really talking mind frame here, right? As you're preparing to set goals, make sure that you're thinking about you. It has to be personal.
That brings us to our second key to goal-setting prep, and it's that you need to make it positive.
Yeah, someone who wants to stash away, we'll just use this as an example, someone who wants to stash away some extra cash. There's 2 ways of approaching this. One way may be you say, I'm going to cut $100 a month in expenses. That's how we tend to think of it. I'm going to cut $100 a month in expenses. So that is a negative goal, right? A negative statement. I want to cut. So we humans resist negatives like cutting because it involves the loss of something.
That's an interesting way of putting it. So then how do we make this a positive? Because if you cut costs, then you're going to gain.
Yes.
So to a degree, the word cut may be negative, but there's a positive outcome. But anyway, can you reframe this so that it's fully positive?
Well, so and by the way, you're absolutely right, Mary-Lynn. And cutting actually has a greater impact on our bottom line than actually getting an increase in income. We won't go into all of that today.
Well,
but the
we've
point
talked
is,
about that in other shows. But yes, I mean, that's the easiest way to grow the bottom line is to remove costs.
We can turn this negative, cut $100 a month, into a positive if we simply say, I want to save $100 a month. In the end, it's the same goal. It's just stated differently. It's stated positively in the second case. Positive goals motivate. Negative goals don't. And we should, I'll quickly add, Mary-Lynn, negative goals, they can promote, but it's usually a very short-term phenomena.
Okay.
Whereas positive goals tend to have a longer time frame.
Well, and I don't mean to challenge you here, Professor.
Oh, sure you
but
do.
when you say, okay, I'm going to save $100 a month versus cut expenses, to me, saving means something completely different. So I mean,
no, because there's two ways.
I can visualize myself. I visualize myself cutting a cost, saying, okay, well, I'm going to stop spending money on this. I'm going to stop that.
So you're taking
but
something
then
away.
But saving to me is that I'm taking money and putting it somewhere. You know, it's like it seems like it's two different things.
So, well, actually, it's not, because there's only two ways to increase your bottom line. There's your personal bottom line. You can increase your income, or you can decrease your costs. Okay.
Right, but to me, if I say I'm going to save money, I want to save money.
Yes.
Okay, so then I've got my money coming in, and I'm not cutting any of my expenses. But what I'm going to do is try to pull a little bit of that money out and stash it away.
You are cutting your expenses.
But you're going to have to say I have to cut this expense, or I have to stop paying for something. I mean, there's no way to fully be positive. You have to. And the only way to be able to save 10 is to stop paying for something that costs 10.
Could you cut your grocery bill by $10?
I don't know, George. I'd have to think about what it is that I would cut.
Okay, let's pretend you answered.
Or stop buying.
Let's pretend you answered yes, okay, because it makes the point. So you could cut it. That's one way to thinking about it. I got to cut $10.
I just don't know how to get around that.
Let me finish, okay? So you can cut $10. That's one way of framing it. But can you save $10 on your groceries? Yeah, you can save $10. Well, now I see myself getting something. I'm saving $10. You know, because let's think about it. I could cut my grocery costs. I could eat less. That's one way.
I have to stop buying something.
Let me finish. No, you don't. Because what I may do is may move from a brand name to a generic. That's a way to save $10. There's any number of things you can do. I could take advantage of bulk deals on non-perishables. You know, the times a year when prices are at a super low cost for certain items, I could take advantage of that.
Okay.
I can become a more intentional consumer. There's all kinds of ways to save $10 in the grocery store. Okay, now we could do this for any other part of our lives. The point is just there's two ways of looking at everything. We can look at it through a negative lens, which the research shows is going to have short-term results. You know, we can pump up a flat tire only so many times, or we can focus on a positive goal, which is to be saving $10 in this case. That's going to help us more long term.
All right. Point made.
Yeah. So as you're preparing to set your goals, watch for negative thoughts and words, and just focus on the positive.
All right. Thank
Mary-Lynn,
you, Professor.
focus on the positive. Mary-Lynn, focus on the positive.
Well, I've had a breakthrough. Thank you, Professor.
There you go.
Okay. So 3 keys to goal setting prep, and the third one is to make it meaningful. So is the goal a good fit for who you want to become?
Now, in determining what is most meaningful to you, think about your hopes and dreams.
Think about the things that bring you happiness and joy.
Think about the things that inspire and energize you.
Is the goal big enough?
That's big with 2 G's.
Oh, yes, absolutely. But is it big enough to challenge you and contribute significantly to your vision and mission?
So as you think about setting your goals, as you're preparing to set your goals, realize that they should not be easy to achieve. They should not be easy to achieve. They should stretch you at least a little bit. As an example, if you currently have $100 to your name, setting a goal of having $101 doesn't really make much of a difference.
I mean, it's a goal. It's a little bit more.
Yes, and if you can't save anything and you never can save anything, $1 may be the best place to start. But for most people, it might be better to set a goal to have $200 because now that definitely is going to make a difference.
Yeah, because the first goal is just a slight increase.
It's a 1% increase, whereas with the second goal, it's a 100% increase. Which one's better? Obviously 100%. So that's a significant difference.
And it'll keep you more motivated because
Absolutely.
it is such a significant difference.
Exactly. And so the first goal doesn't contribute to your vision and mission in a meaningful way, but the second one does. So as you prepare to set goals, think about your vision and your mission.
Well, let's review our 3 keys to goal setting prep, because you should prepare before you set these big goals coming into the new year. And the first key is to make it personal. Think about what you really want. Don't set your goals for other people. Number 2, make it positive. Watch for negative thoughts and words and focus on the positive. And number 3, make it meaningful. Make sure that your goal is in line with your vision and your mission.
Now, with another year upon us, it's important to take some time out to fully think about the direction that you want to take and then set the right goals that will take you there. Just like any journey, a little preparation goes a long way to big success.
Our free life purpose quiz is the perfect preparation tool to help you find your direction. And you can get it at Big Success. That's big with 2 G's, success.com.
We thank you so much for listening today. We'd also like to give a special shout out to all the listeners we have in Pueblo, Colorado. It's Mary-Lynn's dad's adopted hometown. It's a great little place.
Yeah, and we appreciate your tuning in. Next time, we're going to talk about how to set goals like Goldilocks. So today we prepped. Next time, we're going to make sure we get goals that are just right. So tune in, and until next time,
here's to your big success.
Find big success at biggsuccess.com.